Bam. Oh, oh. Ugh, light. Feels very bright right now. All right. Twitch and Kick. All right, we're streaming. We're streaming on all three now. Yay. Howdy, folks. I am back. I am back to get this done. Drowning the Lonely Isle by Jack Waltz. Next step is the formatting. This is Drowning Book 2, Chapter 1, which I didn't even know I had opened on this computer. Close that. This is Friday at 5:30 p.m. I want to check something real quick. So I've been doing this on my tablet. It is alright. Just making sure that everything's being saved properly. Last modified just now. Okay, let's make sure this ends on the proper line. Boom. It's got these weird little tags. I think it's gotta tell me who changed it. Like, I know who changed it. You keep the other little weird tag in there? No, it just flags stuff. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Alright. Close that. We're good there. So what we need is the file that I've been merging, which I believe is just Drowning Chapter 1 in Word. Yeah, so this is what I've been formatting. This is what I've been working with. No. That, and then go Control Enter. Okay, what the fuck just happened? Boom, that centers it, that does that. Alright, sweet. Make sure we don't have any extra spaces that we don't need. Alright. So for Amanda is its own page. It's good. It's good. Oh, hey. Let's see. Not sure when that comment is. 15:25. That's now? It's now. Hey guys, how you doing? Drowning in the Lonely Island by Jack Waltz. Copyright for Amanda. And then it's chapter 1. Okay. Carol's drowning. Now it's just a matter of figuring out the formatting stuff. So, boom, layouts. I don't need to be in the center of the page right now. I need to be, is it design? Layout? I think align is what I want. Align to margin, use align guides. Alright. I guess the thing to do is what I always do when I'm stuck on this stuff. Ask ChatGPT. Hey guys. Sorry I didn't get to that right away. I appreciate you popping in. Plotline art development. Let's go new chat. Formatting novel or publication started new page to paste in chapter, cursor in center of page, how to reset to top. This one's simple, and it's a formatting thing, not a typing mistake, so you didn't break anything. Fastest fix, works in Word, Google. Don't press backspace, that just creates weird spacing. Yep, click anywhere on the page, go to Layout or Page Layout. Layout. Look for vertical alignment. Vertical alignment. Boom, top. Boom, there we go. Bam. Sweet. Select top, not center. That instantly snaps the cursor back to the top of the page. If you're using Microsoft Word, most common for KDP, the page is centered because Word thinks it's a vertically centered section. Do this. Place your cursor on the affected page. Layout, page setup. Click the Layout tab. Vertical alignment. Select top. Apply this section. Click OK. Cursor jumps to the top of the page. Y'all saw it. It happened. If this keeps happening when you insert chapters, you likely insert a section break next page with vertical centering. Use page breaks, not section breaks. Shortcut is Control-Enter. Keeping vertical alignment equal to top for the entire document. Use only section breaks. All right, sweet. I'm going to do a quick file. Save a copy. I think that's what I want. I want Drowning the Lonely Island, this folder. Rename it. Oh. What is the proper file name for a KDP publication? KDP, the file name itself, is not shown to the reader, so Amazon isn't picky, but using a clean standard name prevents upload issues and confusion later. Yeah. Avoid special characters. Yeah. Drowning Island. Jackwaltz.docs. Yeah. Drowning the Lonely Island. Yep, that's it. Boom. Control V. Saving it in the drowning folder, which should be fine, and boom. That's the end of chapter 1. We did a page break, so we're good on that. We're good to go into this. Gonna do that. And then chapter 2. Now it's document 2, drowning, book 2, outline. No. Now y'all can see how sloppy my workspace really is. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. All right. Real quick, it's flagging tree line as being an issue. Yeah, okay. We'll separate that. Okay. Doing a last bit of like, is that right? Is that wrong? Could I make it better? Tree line. Be consistent. So I know I got 2 sections that I need to fix as I go through and do this. I got one part where he lays her down on blankets that previously did not exist in the story. So I got to figure out a little edit to that in order to explain that away as quickly and lightly as possible. And then I've got another point where like it's a page before he actually learns her name, and I use her name in the story. But that does not happen in chapter 2. Here I just had like the tree line issue where I wanted to use tree line as 1 word. Apparently it's 2. That's fine. Control C. Back to the document we're doing. Control V. Boom. Again, consistency check. Chapter 2 is that. What did I do at the beginning of chapter 1? I did that. Okay. So whatever settings. Layout, page setup, center. Boom. Okay, so that's there. And then here, is it design thing? Is it design thing? Okay. So I think all I need to do is select this, styles, heading, yeah. Okay, so is that right? Does that look the same? Is that consistent? Yeah. And I'm not using paragraph breaks. Mostly because I got so many short lines. So if I was indenting paragraphs on like lines like he let his gaze drift out across the waters, and that's just centering it more. So I'm gonna forgo that. All right, and then we get to the end of chapter 2. We hit Control Enter, boom, and we're centered again. Damn it. Okay, we learned how to fix that. The layout, top, and make sure that didn't change my dedication. It did. Well, what the shit? Okay, undo that. Control Enter. I mean, I guess it's not a big deal to leave the dedication at the top of the page, but it just doesn't feel right there. It feels like this should be centered page stuff. And we go center for that. Boom. But it's just that. Everything else doesn't need to be centered. Again, it could be I've got weird like enters going into it, or weird tabs that are causing that to format weird. Go top. Yeah, it's affecting the entire document. Okay. How do I center the text for single pages, the title, and the dedication without repeating on every page? I want the story itself top oriented. You're thinking about this exactly right. This is what section breaks are for. You do not want to center the whole document. Here's a clean KDP safe way to center only the title and the dedication pages while keeping insert section breaks after the centered page. Okay. So layout breaks. Where's breaks? Breaks. Section break, next page. Anywhere on the title page. Layout page setup. Layout tab. Center. Only that page is centered. Here, back. Alright, so that's centered and this is top oriented. Sweet. Amanda, same thing. Or do I need to go here? Okay, I'm starting to get this. The end of the title page, go to layouts, breaks, next page. Boom. Back on that. Layout. Set up orientation, center. Styles. Okay, I think that's good for Amanda. Boom. I think we're good to go. Okay, and then layout, page setup, top. Okay, all right. Son of a bitch. With that centered, and then layout, breaks, next page. Okay. This one, layout, page setup, top. Boom. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Okay, yeah, all right. Boom, top oriented. Sweet. Chapter 2, done. Let's close that out. what did I have before? Chapter 3, bam. Okay. Control C. And if I'm doing Kindle Unlimited, pages like this last one are perfect, where I've got like 5 lines. Because with Kindle Unlimited, people pay to read each page. And it's like half a cent a page. So pages like this are where I'm actually making money for less work. Boom, boom, Control V, bam. You see how that changes a little bit. Kind of makes me want to make the font larger. Styles, heading 1, bam. Okay, go to this, Control Enter. I think the last thing I need to do is like a synopsis and the 2-sentence pitch. Oh, and this will be nice because it'll actually tell me how long the book is. I'm looking forward to that. Bam. File, open chapter 4. Chapter 4. Okay. Shore Walker, that's an acceptable misspelling. Weakness couldn't be attraction. Control C. V. Highlight, styles, heading. Close that down because we are done with it. Pop that up again. No. Chapter 5. Okay. This is not the issue yet. Now I need to make my first little correction. I didn't, I don't. This is their first fight. The raft, she murmured. Yeah, that one was mine. That line could maybe change, but I'm past the point of editing. I can't be changing stuff anymore. Just gotta get it done. And that's the problem with art. You're never really done. You're just sort of finished, done for now. But there's that temptation to go in and want to fine-tune it, finesse it, change some things all over again. But I gotta move on to the next thing. Like nice. I finished my draft of chapter 1 this morning, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I like how the second book is starting out quite a bit. My big challenge with that is introducing so many additional characters and trying to keep them straight and trying not to flood the pages with characters so that you get yourself lost in confusion. That's the rough bit. File. Six. Okay. Control C. Still not there. Boom. Control Enter. Control V. Up. Bam. Chapter 6. Styles. Heading. Bam. I'm being really lazy with chapter names, obviously. I don't feel like being clever and trying to title every single one. I've done that before in a previous book, and the payout just isn't really worth it. Not to mention, it kind of sucks when you include a title that is giving anything away about the story. Like a tease is one thing, but the temptation to reveal too much or to go for a clever pun that as someone's reading they can be like, this is what he meant. I'm just avoiding all of that. File. Open 7. 7, because that's what comes after 6. Bam. Control C. Okay, chapter 8. Chapter 8, I want to say page 4 is where I gotta look for an edit. So yeah, Control C. Back to the master document. Into that chapter, Control Enter. That gives us the next page with a clean break that KDP will not mess up on. And hit Control V to paste the whole thing down. Scroll back up. I think what's really valuable about this is not the book that I want to be writing, but it's been fantastic practice working on it. The thing that I want to do is humanities. It's a good old hero's journey. It's everything that's just rich with the teachings of Joseph Campbell and Carl Jung. Modern psychological stuff. Bam. Bam. Alright, let's get rid of weird spaces. This KDP doesn't know how to handle if you have random pushes of the enter button or the return button to create paragraphs. So you got to make sure everything is basically codable, is what you're looking for. And that's why you hit Control Enter, boom. So that signals to it this is a whole other page break going on. So I'm at 19,000 words, or 19,707 words right now, and 51 pages at the end of chapter 7, which is kind of the midway point. I mean, it's 15 whole chapters, which means this book is only going to be about 100 pages, which, not bad. It's not bad. I'm a little insecure about making it too small. But you got to remember, this was designed to be a weekend read. It's novella. It's an impulse purchase sort of thing. I'm not going for like huge stories on this. I'm going for small sectional ones, so I can maybe get this entire plotline resolved in like 3 books with enough of an opening for more or enough space to create spin-off characters. And I've already got a spin-off character in mind for the next book, or no, the next series. Well, maybe not even the next series. A series that I want to do that's even racier than this one is. Like, I actually have in mind a couple of LGBTQ stories, even though I'm not really part of that particular crowd. Drowning, chapter 8.1. I think I want chapter, is it 8.1? Yeah, it's not chapter 8, because this is one of those weird times where saving gave me a strange issue. December 26, 2025. Yeah, okay. Minutes passed, maybe hours, he couldn't tell. She shifted, lifting her head enough from the moonlight, uncertain. Okay, so my name, she said softly, is Arista. And then... Okay. The lovers slept, cocooned in sweat and bliss. When one stirred, so did the other. So that they awoke together at the first faint fracture at dawn. Their eyes met immediately, wide, wondering and still wanting. Garrett's fingers just... Here it is. That doesn't belong here. Shaking his head at the bathroom, he did not have time for it. He turned to follow the mysterious maiden down the path. Bam! Fixed that issue. Chapter 8, which is another 2,836 words. Again, love that I left empty space at the end of a page. Boom. Make sure we're not including any extra lines or page breaks or anything like that. Control V, in it. Again, no extra spaces. No extra spaces. Damn it. I guess we got an extra space. Style, heading, bam. Yep. Control Enter, boom, and bam. Drowning, chapter 9, boom. I'm glad my wife loves this story. I think it's definitely got some goofy elements to it. Like, I'm looking at it now, and of course there's that part of me like, oh, if I could just change this one, but no. Just gotta leave it. Control C. Keep moving on. Keep finishing with story number 2. So like I said, I really like how that's going. Control V. But I'm really grateful that I took the time to do detailed character outlines so that the characters that I'm writing about in this story, like, they live in my head at least, they live, like they're real. And that helps quite a bit. And then doing a detailed outline, bam. Control Enter. And then after doing a detailed outline of the entire story, like before I actually write a chapter, I'll sit and I'll do my plot line. And I try to do it with sort of the shower, bathtub sort of mentality. The whole eureka moment where you relax the brain and you're not focused too intensely on it, so you're not trying to force anything to happen. So that's where writing out my plot line as I'm playing Warframe and stuff like that come in. It's not the most focused work, but it gets done. And that's what really matters. And even if it's just a line at a time, a single line an hour or something like that, it's better than, nothing. Or sitting around just dreaming about getting it done. C, it's 10.2. Okay. Control V. Scroll back up. Let's get this chapter covered. Put the proper heading on it. Heading, there we go. Close chapter 10. Go to chapter 11. Really wound up with an interesting style in how this was written. I'm pretty proud of it. This past year has been a great year for refining how I write things. And I'm really seeing how everything that I've written, every failed project, every half-done thing is a part, a mark of growth that I've been able to make as a writer in order to come to this point. One. Chapter 11. Boom. Boom. Giggity. Control Enter. Far above them, another pillar cracked. Yes. Bam. 12. Okay. Okay, this is the bore chapter. Control C. Control V. Styles, heading. Yeah, really happy that the wife is happy with how this story, sweet, has turned out. And it's got her reading again. She had to buy another romance novel just to keep her amused, which means I got competition. I got to be better than whatever she's starting to read now. Okay. This is where I gotta change something. Chapter 12. Nope, chapter 13. Ah. He guided her gently down onto the blankets he laid beside the fire. That's where it's kind of like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? He guided her gently down onto the blankets he laid beside the fire. How do I add to that without adding too much to that in order to explain it away? Let's make it simple. He guided her down. He guided her gently down onto the blankets, onto the makeshift blankets he'd repurposed from sails. Ugh. Let's see. I need to repurpose this line so that it reads guided her gently down onto the repurposed sails he'd laid beside the fire as a makeshift blanket. Repurposed sail he laid beside the fire as a makeshift blanket. The glow casting her in golden shadow. I need to say that in less words. It's too much of a jumble. He guided her down gently onto the blanket he'd repurposed from a sail and laid beside the fire. So, God, the sentence is doing too much. That's the problem. You can't just like glibly throw it out there. guided her down gently onto the blanket he'd repurposed from his sail. And laid beside the fire. Because I need to have fire and the glow casting her in golden shadow need to be next to each other, so adding as a makeshift blanket puts in an interruption and causes people to stumble over it. So the glow part just doesn't really seem like that's been detached from the object causing the glow. Onto the blanket he'd repurposed from a sail and that powerful word and laid beside the fire. And I can get rid of as a makeshift blanket, which overall, okay, so that shortens the sentence. That's good. You don't want it to be too long. She looked up at him, no longer regal, no longer predatory, just a woman trying to understand the new world unfolding inside her. Garrett brushed his knuckles over her cheek. If you want me to stop. I don't, she said, breath shivering. I only don't know how to be gentle, then don't be. Ooh, steamy. Okay. Yeah, I think that works. I truly believe romance is a ridiculous genre. I really, really do. It's, ugh. But it's weird. Like, I try to write humanities and hero's journey and adventure stories and all this stuff. But if I tell a woman that I'm writing a book, the question is always like, is there a lot of sex in it? Men never ask that question. It's never had a dude ask me if my content has a lot of sex in it, but women prefer it. Which, you know, it's said that men read adventure because they're trying to find a substitute for what's lacking in their life. That sense of accomplishment. That's why we like heroes' journeys. That's why we like epics. Whereas women like romance for the same reason. Like, it's for the romance that they don't feel in their lives. Which is why I've got in the new book a character who actually reads romance novels. Because she has a boorish husband that doesn't really like satisfy that bit for her. Boom. 14, because that comes after 13. Every time. Every time, if you skip some stuff. Or you're talking about a code or a password or something. Ooh. Sitting up on. Wow, it's a nice little error to catch. All right, chapter 14, Control C. Control Enter gives us the page break. Control V, paste in what we just did. Hit backspace because it always creates that weird little gap at the end, which I wonder if that's going to bite me in the ass. The fact that I keep getting rid of that extra little like return. Chapter 14. Styles, heading, bam. Control Enter. 15. Control C. Control V. Boom. Styles, heading, bam. 15. 15 is my last official chapter. 16 is a supplemental. I like to do forward hooks in this book. Boom. And a forward hook is basically, I like to think of it as the last scene in a Marvel movie that takes place after the credits. It's basically what I'm doing is trying to sell the next book that hasn't even been written yet. Like I want to keep this as a forward momentum thing, hence the novella, the shorter format, romance or romantasy, which is a genre that is just absolutely consumed by its readers, and create books that are impulsive purchases in order to sell as many as possible. We shall see about that. Boom. 16. Styles, heading, bam. All right. So that's it. That's all 16 chapters. We're saving. Okay. Bam. All chapters merged into a single file. Dedication page. Copyright page. Title page. Dot dot dot. Anything else I need other than to finish the cover? I still need a synopsis or back cover blurb, which I will have Chat GPT write. But what else? Anything after the story, final page, content, about the author, or am I good? You're very close. At this point, you're no longer writing a book, you're assembling a product, and KDP is mostly about not overdoing it. If you want a clean, professional checklist, what's required, what's optional, and what I'd recommend giving your goals, KU and fast publishing, required. You already have most of this. Interior file, single DOCX or PDF, order should be title page, copyright page, dedication, story begins. Boom. You already have this assembled correctly. Strongly recommend, but optional, also by author name, front or back. Good for series or future proofing. Best placement for KU after the story, not before. You can list this book if it's book 1, more coming soon. Acknowledgements, short, only if someone beta read, you want to thank your wife, you've done this in poetry already. No, I didn't do that in poetry. I excluded the poetry. I want a simple dedication. If included, put it after the story. About the author, short now, including extra little blurbs at the end. Follow the author on Amazon, newsletter sign up, non-purchase, social media, safe but keep minimal. About the author, short, optional but useful if you plan to publish more. Keep it tight, 4 to 6 lines, example structure, 1 sentence about you as a writer, 1 personal detail, optional call to action, follow me on Amazon, goes after the story. Strongly recommended but optional is also by the author, front or back. Good for series or future proofing. Alright. About the author page at the end. If you could write it for me so I don't have to brag, that would be good. This is my first serious work. Anything prior, tempted to bury since I'm rewriting it, but I am started on the sequel for this book. I also stream my writing sessions on Twitch, Kick, and post them on YouTube. No, I don't post them on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube as well. I just never check it. And YouTube. Absolutely, an about author should feel grounded and human, not promotional. For first series novels, less history is actually a strength. Here's a clean, understated version that won't age badly and doesn't force you to brag. Jack Waltz writes character-driven speculative fiction that explores isolation, endurance, and the fragile spaces between people. Drowning the Lonely Isle is his first published novel. In the beginning of a larger story he's continuing to write. When not working on the sequel, he streams his writing and editing sessions live, sharing the process as it happens across Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. He lives in the United States with his wife and believes stories are best discovered one honest sentence at a time. Add a soft call to action to follow on Amazon and my Twitch, Kick, and YouTube handle is Jacked Ace. There you go, same restrained tone with a soft, non-salesy call to action added at the end. This is KDP and KU Safe. About the author, Jack Waltz writes character-driven speculative fiction that explores isolation, endurance, and the fragile spaces between people. Drowning the Lonely Isle is his first published novel and the beginning of a larger story he is continuing to write. When not working on the sequel, he streams his writing and editing sessions live. While working on the sequel would be better. Sharing the process as it happens on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube under the handle Jacked Ace. Readers who wish to follow his work can find him on Amazon by following the author page. Okay. Let's see. Layout. Breaks. Next page. Layout. Again, we want that same trick centered. Okay. Control V. Boom. Jack Waltz writes character-driven speculative fiction that explores isolation, endurance, and the fragile spaces between people. Published Novella. Not sure about all this. Mostly focused on the hero's journey and repurposing classic myth into modern psychology. That hesitation is a good instinct. You're right to correct it. And about author shouldn't interpret your work for the reader. It should situate it. What you're describing, hero's journey, myth, psychology, is cleaner, truer, and less workshop-y. It's a revised version that reflects that focus without sounding academic or self-important. Speculative fiction, drawing on classic myth and reinterpreting it through a modern psychological lens. Drowning the Lonely Island is his first published novel. In the beginning of a larger story he's continuing to write. He's currently working on a sequel and regularly streams his writing and editing sessions live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube under the handle Jacked Ace. Readers who wish to follow his work can find him on Amazon by following the author page. Okay. I definitely do like that better. Boom. Boom. Change novel to novella. That way I don't have to be like, well, you know, I published something else, because I don't want to talk about that other one that I did. I also don't care for it being bold. Okay. What do I got? 43,271 words. That's really good. I was shooting for 4,000 or 40,000. 114 pages. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's not too bad at all. Feels pretty good. So is that it? Did I just finish my novella? Still need my back cover synopsis. Dot. Can you handle that in this chat? Or do I need to go back to a prior one that has all the story information in it? Short answer first, because you've earned it. Yes, you finished your novella. Not basically, not almost. Finished. What's left is presentation, not creation. Take a breath. This is a moment most writers never reach. Can you do a back cover? Yes, absolutely. I do not need to go back to older thread. I don't need the entire manuscript again either. What I do need is a focused briefing, because a good blurb is not a summary, it's a sales instrument. What to send me? Copy paste this checklist. If you can answer briefly in bullets, if you want, genre and tone. One more thing important, and I mean this kindly, finishing a novella often creates a weird emotional drop, like that's it. That's exactly what I experienced when I finished my first book and got it published. I was like, that's it? Really? Like, the world did not change. That's normal. It doesn't mean the work is thin. It means it's done. You didn't abandon this. You didn't trail off. You didn't mean to finish someday. You finished it. Now let's write the blurb and send it into the world. Whenever you're ready, paste your answers. So what do I need to, what are my responses? Genre and tone. One, dark romantasy. Two, one sentence core premise. Little Mermaid meets Beauty and the Beast. 3, who is the protagonist and what do they want? Garrett wants to return home and get off the island. 4, what stands in his way? The mermaid who saved him from the ocean seems intent on keeping him there. 5, what is the stake if they fail? He may never leave. Six, and this is where I accidentally, Little Mermaid meets Beauty and the Beast. That's 6. 2, what's the one sentence? Good, that's exactly the right amount of signal. I don't need the old thread. I'm going to give you 3 things, clean and usably immediate. A primary back cover blurb, Amazon paperback ready, short hook paragraph, first 2 or 3 lines of the Amazon description, and a one-line tagline, optional but strong. All are spoiler safe, dark romantasy forward, and the myth aware without being cute about it. Back cover blurb. When Prince Garrett is lost at sea, he expects to drown. Instead, he wakes up on a lonely island, saved by a mermaid whose voice pulled him from the depths. She is beautiful, watchful, and far too invested in his survival. The ocean that nearly claimed him now hems him in, and the shore offers no clear path home. Garrett wants only to leave the island and return to the life he lost. The longer he remains, the more he senses that his rescue came at a cost. The mermaid who saved him does not speak of the world beyond the water, and each attempt to escape binds him closer to her, and the island itself. As desire and unease blur, Garrett must decide whether his captivity is a curse, a bargain, or something far more intimate. Some rescues are not meant to be repaid. Some shores do not let go. Drowning the Lonely Isle is a dark romantasy novella that reimagines classic myth through obsession, longing, and the quiet terror of being loved too well. Short hook, top of Amazon description. The prince survives the sea only to discover the shore may be his true prison. Rescued by a mermaid and stranded on a lonely island, Garrett must confront the truth older than myth. Not all captors use chains. Oh, I like that. Say the word. Okay, so make it hotter, more tragic, more romantic, more horror-leaning, but why this works briefly, so you trust it. It's myth-forward without parody. Romance is implied, not explicit. Stakes are intimate, never leaving. Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast is felt, not stated. Fits KU, paperback, and ebook descriptions cleanly. Okay. What remains? Paste this into KDP description. Finish the cover. Rename. Drowning Book 1 finale. I need to paste into the KDP description. I need to finish the cover art, and then I need to upload it. So it's the cover, which technically I don't need the cover. I can upload it without it, and I can use KDP, their assets, in order to generate something as a filler. But everything they have is kind of trash. At least it was, 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago when I published my last book. Yeah. Say the word, but as written, yes, you finished your novella. That feels really good. It feels really good. Yeah, that feels really good. Yeah. 114 pages. 43,271 words. Scrolling through to make sure I got all these chapter headings covered. And 14, 13, 12, 13, Glad I got that. Ten, yeah. I don't want any totally blank pages, but if I can have a page that's just got a couple of lines, fantastic. Utterly fantastic, just for the KU, because that's like an extra half a penny. With Kindle Unlimited. Which it's a little bit ridiculous that as an author on Kindle Unlimited, you can make half a cent a page. But as an editor, you can make minimum 1 penny per word. So really, editing is where the money is at. But if I'm going to be doing Kindle Unlimited, which I really should, I did this right for creating all the gaps that I did. See, and this works. Drowning the Lonely Isle by Jack Waltz. And then I can sign here, I can sign there if I want to sign my stuff. It feels good. Feels good. Feels real good to have that done. Yeah. I'm going to let that save. I'm going to end this stream because that's the end of the stream. I did what I set out to do. I'm going to keep the chat that I got so I can paste that in later and use it on the cover. Yeah. I think I'll be on later. Honestly, I hope I'm not. I hope I'm spending the rest of my evening with my wife today. But I'll be back on probably tomorrow to work on my cover art and work on getting that done. Maybe tonight if I don't see her. We'll see. I'm going to call her. But yeah, Drowning the Lonely Isle by Jack Waltz. That's... awesome. Awesome. So, that's it for my stream. Thank you, anyone who's joined me. I'm sorry I didn't get back to your comments there, Bookbuyer and... Pat said 9 to dinner. Okay, so I'm gonna get to that text I just got from the wife and see if I get to have time with my spouse tonight. That'd be fantastic. So peace out, guys. Thank you for joining me in this process. I won't be sharing the publishing of the book itself, but yeah, you'll be seeing me do the artwork. I'll make sure to let everybody know when it's out, when it's available. I probably won't shut up about it. And if you join me tomorrow morning as I'm playing Warframe, I will be plotting out Chapter 2 of the next book. So the process is still going. Like I said, I finished my draft of Chapter 1 this morning, and I already like the next story. I'm very happy with where Garrett and Arista have wound up and where they're going from this point on. So thank you, guys.